Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I wanted to do a tier list actually. I have talked about my love for Pokemon and I figured I might as well go through every Pokemon and pretty much just say how much I love each of them individually and maybe even their different forms depending on what sort of tier lists I can find. I put myself into the corner immediately. Didn't mean to do that, but I'm already here, so bam. Today we're going to start with my favorite type. We're going to start with Ghost type Pokemon. It's going to be your classic tier list, S through F tier. Originally, I was thinking, oh, I'll save legendaries for a different video. And I think I will. I'm going to just do pretty much the base Pokemon. Maybe I'll do the variants as well, depending. But I am going to leave legendaries out, like Ghostplate Arceus. Yeah, but also no. So I will make my own video on legendaries later. For right now, why the fuck is Mankey and Primeape in this list? Also, why is Cubone in this list? They, okay, that's really interesting. They put the pre-evolutions of like every ghost type Pokemon, including when they weren't ghosts. That's really interesting. I will not be putting them on this list either because that does not count. That's really strange. I didn't notice that until it started. Okay, anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and go in order here. I'm not going to try to skip out of order. So starting in Generation 1, question mark, it's a Generation 9 Pokemon, but I guess because Mankey was a Generation 1, they're just throwing him in the front. That's really strange. Anyway, Annihilate. Annihilate. Where do I want Annihilate? Annihilate is... He's pretty cool. I like Annihilate. Literally too angry to die, but like twisted on its head. Literally too angry to be dead and not still fighting. I do like Annihilate a lot. Um, I wouldn't put him up towards S or A. I think B is a fitting place for Annihilate. He could potentially be C tier, but I think I'll start with him in B. Alright, Ghastly. I think this whole line is a little bit overrated. Ghastly is pretty good himself. I like Ghastly, but I don't think that he brings as much to the table as a couple of other Pokemon. I don't mind him, but he's not great. Haunter I do like a lot, actually. I think Haunter might be my favorite out of the line. I think that he works better as a ghost than Gengar does. Like, I get it as far as the evolution line goes, but I don't know. I know a lot of people are going to kill me for not putting Gengar in S tier, but I just don't. I don't think so. I don't think I can put him higher than A tier, to be honest. I could theoretically put him in A tier. I do, like I said, I do like him a lot. Just not as much as Haunter. Alright. Mega Gengar. Interestingly enough, they don't have Gigantamax Gengar on here, do they? Another list did have him. Mega Gengar is... I don't think he is necessary. I actually don't like him as much as Ghastly. He could be below D tier, actually. Why is there an E tier? I just realized. Get out of here, E tier. I'm not a big fan. Alright, Alolan Marowak. I do like him a lot. He's pretty cool. I, again, wouldn't put him into S tier. What do I put him above Gengar even? Maybe. I like Alolan Marowak a lot. With his fucking flaming Q-tip. Now, an interesting thing about my path as a Pokemon player is that I've actually never played Sun and Moon or Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I played through Pokemon X and Y, and then my 3DS broke. The ribbon got snapped inside, and so it was only working when charging. And then I got busy with my life, and so I just did not have time for Sun and Moon. So X and Y was actually my last of the 3DS games. Skipped Generation 7 like entirely, and then Generation 8 came out for the Switch. I did have a Switch, so I played Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Violet. So my interaction with Alolan Pokemon is actually very, very slim. But Alolan Marowak is pretty cool. I actually feel bad for putting him above Gengar. I'm going to put him below Gengar. I might go ahead and put Primate Annihilate into high C tier just for now. I might reorganize a little bit later, but I'm just trying to figure it out as we go. Hisuian Typhlosion is very cool. I love Typhlosion a lot. Is that just gonna be like, that's like my catchphrase? I love him a lot. He's so dopey. His design is so cool. I've always been a big fan of Typhlosion in general. So having him become my favorite typing is massive. Also, we do not take Hisuian Typhlosion slander. We do not believe in the rumors. He's a good boy. He would never do anything bad. Mischievous is interesting. My first foray into Pokemon was Pokemon Coliseum, and I remember having a Shadow Mischievous, and I remember catching it and playing the Mischievous for a while. And this was before Miss Magus even existed. And I did like it then. I thought it was really interesting. But it was never like, oh, this thing is so cool. I love it a lot. Blah, 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 blah. I do like it. Especially now, its design has grown on me a lot more. But I still wouldn't place it all the way at the top. Shedinja. I think Shedinja is interesting. I don't necessarily think I would ever go out of my way to use Shedinja. It's got a very interesting ability with Wonder Guard, but just fire type would knock it out, rock type would knock it out. Like its ability is really cool. That it's got 1 HP, but only a super effective type can hit it, right? That's cool. But I'm just not a fan of it, design wise or otherwise. I've seen some really interesting videos of oh, what if we gave Wonder Guard to this Pokemon and it had this ability, or not ability, but this item and this move, and so it caused it to be pretty much immortal unless you did specific things. Sableye, that's my boy. I love Sableye to bits. I don't know. I'm tempted to just go ahead and put him in S tier. He's just a little gremlin. He's just a little guy. you've seen my version of Sableye if you watched my introduction video with Daniel, who's a very much more flamboyant Sableye. He's not as much of a gremlin, but I don't mind the gremlin energy. Little guy is my favorite gender. Mega Sableye. So I never understood Mega Sableye because, again, I didn't play the game that he came out in. So I didn't get to experience Mega Sableye, so I didn't know exactly what was going on with his design. Turns out that's like his little like chest crystal was like enlarged and fell out, and then he used it as like a shield. It's really interesting, but I don't know. I think Sableye is already like perfect, and why he needed a mega, I don't know. So I think top B tier works for him. Shuppet. I like Shuppet. Shuppet's so cute. It's just like a little cloth puppet creature. I wonder what is inside of a Shuppet because a Banette is like, a plush that's kind of come to life sort of thing, right? So I assume a Shuppet is just like very similar, like a puppet that's been brought to life, right? No idea. I just play Pokemon. I don't know anything. I think that's a pretty fitting location for Shuppet. Now, Banette. Banette is so cool. I'm so happy that I chose a Banette for Melanie. Originally, I was going to make her a Pumpkaboo and have her evolve into a Gourgeist in my story as far as Sprinkles, Nathaniel, and Melanie was concerned. But I think the move to make Melanie into a Shuppet and Banette was probably one of the best moves I could have done. And I have absolutely fallen in love with Banette as a Pokemon. I think I'm willing to do that. It's so cool. It's kind of got like a whole like cat thing going on with it too. It's like, yeah, it's a plushie, but it's kind of like kitty build in a way with the little sleeves. I'm noticing that I have like a trend going on here with like the Pokemon that I like is their like arms kind of just go out and hang forward or whatever. Like Bennett has the sleeves that hang out. Sableye has his arms out. Duskull usually has his arms like their sleeves that like come out and get all wiggly in front of him and stuff when he attacks. Goofy. Again, Mega Bennett is interesting. I'm not as big of a fan of Mega Bennett as I am with Bennett. I think it falls into a tier akin to Sableye's Mega Evolution. They're okay, but also kind of unnecessary. Like their designs are already really good. Don't know why they did this. Miss Magius. I am a sucker for Miss Magius. Get in here. Who doesn't love a witch? I love Miss Magius to bits. There's a Miss Magius in our little story, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Edelstadt Nightmares, that Sprinkles and Jeremy and Perez are all part of. And she was kind of the one who brought all of us together as a team. And she is like a supervisor to the Muna that I showed in my introduction video, Mimi or Miriam. So she's a very important character too. I might have a little bit of bias. I might honestly just end up putting all like my characters that I'm like, oh yeah, I actually have a Sona of this, or oh, this is a character from Edelstadt Nightmares or something, and they are probably going to end up higher on the list. All right. Well, here's the moment I've been waiting for. Is it high enough? Or do I do this? Sprinkles. That's my ghosts. That's my ghost. I love Duskull to bits, as I've explained in my previous video. He's such a little guy. I have got to talk more about Duskull another time and like kind of how I perceive Duskull because I think Duskull is a Pokemon that has a lot of like open-endedness to itself because to me a Duskull is not its body but instead it's like the eye inside. I believe that the body is kind of like a shell and you could totally like open up the skull, take out the core, and then implant it into another Duskull or like another like shell, and then it could use ghost energy to take over. So that's kind of how I perceive Duskull, and I want to make a video about that maybe, perhaps, in the future. I think it could be interesting. Now, Dusclops. Dusclops kind of falls a little bit because it ruins my theory. Yeah, that's the only reason. No, not at all. I just don't like Dusclops as much. We go from like a Grim Reaper-esque kind of Pokemon, right? It's got the cloak, it's got the skull with, like the wispy cloak and everything, and like the eye looking at you through the skull. And then it becomes like a mummy, and it's just like, why? I don't know why they ended up doing this, to be honest with you. Like the sleeves end up becoming this like extra wisp behind it, and then it just like gets hands. I don't know where the hands come from. It didn't have hands in the first place, and its skull just like gets ingrained with the mummy wrap. I don't like it. Like I'm half willing to put it even lower than this. It's grown on me a little bit, but it's just not as good. And I don't understand where it came from. And then you have Dusk Noir. Dusk Noir is really cool. It kind of brings back a little bit to the Duskull design. Instead of just being floating hands and having like this wisp out to the side, it ends up getting its sleeves back and then puts the hands inside the sleeves. It's like, okay, that kind of saves it. And then it gets rid of its legs again, which it did not have in the original design, and instead gets its wisp below it again. Good. Thank you. And then it has the eye inside of the skull or whatever you want to call it, like a helmet. I'm not entirely certain. This is so much better than what Dusclops did, and I feel like Dusk Noir is exactly what Dusclops should have been. And I'm waiting for the day that we get Mega Dusk Noir. I thought my time had come. I was mistaken. Instead, we got like Mega Chandelure, which is based. I love Chandelure, and that'll come up later. But yeah, I'm waiting for Dusknoir to get added to Pokemon Unite as well. That way I can just have an excuse to play as a Duskull in Pokemon Unite. Alright, Drifloon. Drifloon's lore is really interesting. It's just a little balloon. He's just a little guy. Mm, I don't know if I want him that high. I'd put him like here, maybe. Let's put him on the end of B tier, I think. He's interesting. And then Driploon has like more hair. So it goes from a balloon to a hot air balloon. And I think that is a really cool evolution line. It's really interesting as a ghost. I think the lore saves it. Otherwise, I would just assume it's like a flying type. Oh, but it's purple. It must be a ghost. I don't know. It's really weird. I think that's as high as I'm willing to put them. They are interesting, and I do like them a lot, but that's this might actually be generous. I think I'm gonna put them at top of C tier, just so I can have some more stuff below as well. I don't know if I like Drifloon better than Drifblim. They're both really strange, but I do like them a lot because they're so goofy. Spiritomb, you are so cool. Get up here. Spiritomb is so nifty with the whole like composed of a bunch of spirits. I had written some lore. Um, this lore is probably something that I'll end up putting into like one of my stories eventually if I end up continuing writing all my stories. But basically, I wanted to make a Pokemon Dungeons and Dragons that was not Mystery Dungeon themed. I was going to make it so that you were like the trainer and you could go around and explore this island or like set of islands. And the lore was basically that it was two islands that were kind of close to each other and they were having a war with each other. And it was like, oh, civil war, blah, blah, blah. And the war went on for a long time. And then the Pokemon were like really hurt by all the pain and suffering that was going around. And so they called out to Regigigas. And Regigigas came in and he took the two islands and put them together. He's like, okay, now you two solve your differences. You're not as different as you think you are. And so he brought this like sense of unity to the island. And then there's like a separate island where war like continued to rage on because they were never informed. It's like, oh, the war's over. But on this like little island that was like just south of the other two islands, they just kept fighting and fighting and fighting until eventually no one was left. Everyone was dead on the island. And even then, like the souls never rested. So it was like 108 different soldiers from the different sides all like coalesced together and made the Spiritomb that has like a lot of self-hatred as well because it has the conflicted souls. Like it has 54 souls from one side of the soldiers and 54 from the other. So it's always at like war with itself as well. So I really hope to make that like a character sometime in one of my stories. I think that would be really fun. Okay, this was another thing I forgot to look at. You are not a ghost. Is and again, I don't think Glalie is a ghost either, right? I would understand if they had Snorunt on this list, but Glalie is really strange because it's not a pre-evolution to Frostlass. Anyway, speaking of which, Frostlass, I like her design a lot. I think she's really cool as a character. But I can't put her in A tier. and true Edelstadians will know. Hashtag fuck Fuyume. So basically, lore wise, there is a frost lass that is part of this like cult of ghost type Pokemon, and she was like running them around, and she kind of planted ideas into this Runarigus's head and was like, oh yeah, ooh, you want to turn every Pokemon in the world into a ghost type. Ooh, you want to bring about the distortion of this realm instead of just a distortion. We gotta release Giratina and bring him here. And as Sprinkles ended up talking down the Runarigus named Bowden, and like he's like, oh, you're right, I'm doing the wrong thing. I'm kind of going against everything that I made a stand for. We have to stop Fuyume from going through. So Sprinkles and Bowden go up to the top and they're like, Fuyume, we have to stop. And Fuyume goes, I knew you didn't have the guts. And she ends up like using an icy wind and blowing the Runarigus off the top floor of the Distortion Temple. And so Sprinkles ends up like kicking her ass. I hit like the craziest Shadow Ball, I think, of all time. I had stab on it with a critical hit and super effective, and I ended up doing so much damage. I think I ended up doing like 52 damage, but I forgot to add extra damage because of stab. I think I calculated it wrong, and I was supposed to do an extra 4 damage, so it was 56 damage. But that doesn't matter. I'm just gonna start rambling again. I need to stop that. Rotom. I think Rotom is really cool. Like the fact that he's able to possess different appliances is so neat. Like with the Rotom Dex and Rotom Phone, to where he's become like a personal assistant AI. I think it is really interesting that it's a Pokemon that came out in what, like 2012? No, not 2012. Like 2008 ish, 2010 ish, somewhere in that range. I think it's like 2008 for Pokemon Diamond, 2007, 2008. And then it's like so relevant to modern day with AI technology and everything. It's so interesting how relevant he is. So I think I want to put him in A tier as well because he is the Pokemon that really keeps on giving. It's wild. I'm just going to put the rest of them in repetitive. I don't think I need them. Let's put them aside. Okay, Yamask. Yamask is really neat. Sprinkles has a Yamask friend. But Yamask, where do I want to put you? I think Yamask by himself, he's really neat, but I don't know. He's just a little guy holding a mask. And same with, and I know, like, I think the lore is supposed to be like, oh, the mask is the soul of someone who died or whatever, and they became a Yamask, and this is like their face. I think that lore is pretty interesting. I don't know how Galarian Yamask works, to be honest with you. I don't know if it's the same. Here, let's do a little exploration together. So Yamask is... Yeah, due to being a human long ago, Yamask retains its memories from before it became a Pokemon. It becomes furious when the mask is lost or taken away. If someone wears the mask Yamask carries, they will become possessed by the Yamask in question. Sometimes it looks at this mask and cries, apparently in longing. Let's see. Each of them carries a mask that used to be its face when it was human. Yeah, that's what I thought. And then they retain memories of its former life. I think it's really interesting to just be like, oh yeah, this Pokemon was a human. And there's like quite a few Pokemon that do that. I think it's an interesting way to create Pokemon. But, oh right, I was gonna look at Galarian Yamask. That's interesting. So, Galarian Yamask is a clay slab with cursed engravings took possession of a Yamask. The slab is said to be absorbing the Yamask's dark power. It's said that this Pokemon was formed when an ancient clay tablet was drawn to a vengeful spirit. I think it's really interesting that a Pokemon that is supposed to be able to take possession of somebody else was taken possession of by a clay slab with cursed engravings. It's really strange. I think it's really strange. Its name is Death Barn? What the fuck does Death Barn mean? That's really weird. Let's see, let's look at Runerigus. A powerful curse was woven into an ancient painting. After absorbing the spirit of a Yamask, the painting began to move. Never touch its shadow-like body or you'll be shown the horrific memories behind the picture carved into it. Scattered pieces of its clay slab have been reassembled, allowing the malicious power contained within to be fully unleashed. It's really odd. I don't know if I fully understand, like, how Galarian Yamask even works. I don't know. Anyway, I'm getting onto like a completely different thing here. Okay, so having read this, right, I do like Yamask and its backstory. I think I'm going to move Galarian Yamask down because having read the explanation just makes me even more confused. So it's like it's a painting that's cursed, and somehow the painting possessed a Pokemon that's whole thing is possession. Sure. I don't know. I'm not super into it. But tell you what I am into. Cophagrigus. This thing is fucking rad. I love this like mummy's tomb coffin that has come back to life. And it's like, oh, the mummy inside is alive and controlling the thing through ghost power. This is cool. This is so cool. And then Runerigus, like as much as I was like, I don't understand Runerigus or whatever, I love his design. The design is so cool that I'm like, I don't know. Like, there's the human aspect of Yamask and Kofagrigus, which is really cool. And then there's like the whole like cursed stone slab, cursed painting, ooh. But it's still got like memories inside of it of a past life. But it's just like one person, right? So if a Yamask specifically has the memories of one person and then it was possessed by one slab. Or wait, no, okay, hold on. I understand now. I should look at Kofagrigus for a second. Kofagrigus. This is so goofy, by the way. Right. They are like super mimic build as well, which is another thing that gives it massive points for me. In case I haven't mentioned it yet, one of my favorite creatures are mimics, hence why Magnum is a mimic in the first place. Mimics are so cool. And the fact that this guy's just like, yep, I'm just a little coffin guy. Munch. It's so funny. It's so funny. Yeah. It's been said that they swallow those who get too close and turn them into mummies. So they end up specifically turning the people into mummies. I don't know. That's really strange because specifically here it says it turns them into mummies, insinuating that they do get spit out. But then Black 2 and White 2 says grave robbers who mistake them for real coffins and get too close end up trapped inside their bodies. I think it's really weird to say in one that it turns them into mummies, and the other one just says they get trapped inside, and then doesn't say anything about what happens to the people inside. Like, I assume, you could say, oh, they get trapped inside and then turned into mummies, which still works. But, like, then where's the mummies other than Dusclops? I really am just rambling about this one Pokemon, aren't I? Okay. I'm going to move up Kofagrigus a little bit, and then I'm going to move. Oh, right. One more thing. Runerigus. So, Runerigus specifically said that the scattered pieces of its clay slab have been reassembled, allowing the malicious power contained within to be fully unleashed. So, I think how this works is there are multiple pieces of the slab of Runerigus. The only time we see Galarian Yamask is with the tail. However, I assume that that's just for show, and realistically, there should be multiple versions of Galarian Yamask that have like, oh, this one has the head, this one has the tail, this one has the left leg of the forbidden one, and then once enough of these Yamasks gather together, they put themselves together to make Runerigus. I think that makes sense. Because there's the tail. But like that's not how it worked before, and I think that's what was confusing me. I don't know. Pokemon evolution is really strange. Okay, well anyway, having understood that a little bit better, I think now I can fit them in here and understand them. Sorry. Okay. Hisuian, Zorua, and Zoroark are really interesting. So I love this line of Zorua, Zoroark. I love that line in general. And then it's like Zorua, Hisuian Zorua is like, oh, these are like the ghost version of them because they were like abused or whatever and killed, and then they're like wrathful, vengeful spirits. I think that's really neat. Zorova is such a cutie. We're gonna put him up here, and then I'm gonna put Hisuian like up here. Do I like this so far? I don't think so. I think I gotta reorganize this really fast. I think I like it like this. Yeah, I think that makes more sense. Okay, who's next? Frillish. I guess. Frillish is really strange, in my opinion. It works as a ghost type. I actually don't remember the lore for Frillish and Jellicent. With its thin veil-like arms wrapped around the body of its opponent, it sinks to the ocean floor. Okay, it's like the opposite of Drifloon. They paralyze prey with poison and drag them down to their lairs 5 miles below the surface. I thought they had something to do with like the spirits of the dead as well. Maybe it's specifically Jellicent. It's an interesting Pokemon, but like it kind of just like sits around the same place Drifloon does for me. I have got to move up Annihilate, like here-ish, I think. Ghastly should probably be here. Dusclaw's placement is fine. Man, if I was a viewer, I would hate me too for this tier list, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, Jellicent. Is it you? What is your story? Whenever a full moon hangs in the night sky, schools of Jellicent gather near the surface of the sea, waiting for the prey to appear. The crown on its head gets bigger and bigger as it absorbs more and more of the life force of other creatures. I think this is what I was thinking of. So, it's not that it like is formed from souls or anything, but it absorbs their souls kind of and like takes their life force and its crown gets bigger. I don't know. It's just goofy. I think it ends up in the same position. Like here. C for scent. It's just Mr. Pringles. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, here we go. I love the Litwick line. Litwick is so cute. So cute. Where do I want to put you? I think around here is fine, to be honest. Lampent is a little less. I put Lampent like probably here. And then Chandelure. You are so fucking cool. You go, girl. I love Chandelure. I'm so happy that Mega Chandelure exists. I've still yet to play Legends ZA. I want to at some point, but I'm not sure when I will. It's just too bad, right? Like I can have Melanie and Daniel and a couple of other the king, and now I can have like the leader of the Distortion Temple, Lady Ekati. But I still can't have Sprinkles because he has no Mega Evolution, and so he's forgotten about. Golett. Golett is cool. I love this line. Golett himself isn't great, but Golurk, you are so fucking cool. Golurk is an easy S tier for me. I might put Dusknoir up in S tier too. I'm not sure. That or I put Golurk like here. I'm not sure. I'm gonna put him in S tier for now though because Golurk is so fucking peak. I love him. I love the whole like, oh, his cursed energy or whatever has to be held back by this buckle. If he loses it, he goes ham. Peak stomp. All right, the Honedge line, so cool. I love Cursed Sword. Cursed Sword, my beloved. I am going to put Honedge like here, I think. Doublade, I'm not so big on Doublade. Doublade's really weird to me because it's just like, oh, you know, now two of them are stuck together. Like, great, okay, we've seen this before with Magnemite and the Magneton, and you know, Beldum into Metang into Metagross, which I think is probably one of the best instances of it. This is just two swords stuck together. I don't know what to tell you. But what I do know what to tell you is Aegislash is so cool. Aegislash is, I think, my friend's favorite Pokemon other than Snorlax. And for good reason, to be honest. Aegislash is really neat. It can like wield itself as a sword because its little like tassel off the hilt becomes sleeves, and you know how I feel about sleeves. You know how I feel about sleeves. And it like wields itself with the shield and the sword. It's so cool. All right, Phantom, Soul of a Dead Child. Yep, we've seen this one before. We're gonna put it right next to the other Soul of a Dead Person. What we're not gonna put next to the Soul of a Dead Person is Trevenant, because Trevenant is really neat. It's like, okay, now the soul of a dead child that is just like a tree stump has become a full ass tree. That's so cool. Ints are so cool. Haunted int. Whoever thought of that needs a raise. All right. I love jack-o'-lanterns. And so Pumpkaboo, I'm putting an A tier. The issue, right, is Gorgeist. Like, yes, it is, you know, also jack-o'-lantern, but I'm not so big on it being like a gourd. I like pumpkin jack-o'-lanterns over gourd. I think it's really goofy to just like, yeah, okay, how do we evolve a pumpkin? Yeah, make it a gourd. It makes sense, but I don't think it works as well as Pumpkaboo, in my opinion. I just like Pumpkaboo a lot. So I'm gonna put Gourgeist at the end of B tier. Decidueye, you're so cool. Get up here. We're gonna put you somewhere like right here. I like Decidueye a lot. Again, I've not played Sun and Moon. If I would have played Sun and Moon, it would have been a toss up between picking Litten and Rowlet, because Decidueye is so neat. I love cats so much, but this like Ghost Owl Archer speaks to me on quite literally a spiritual level. Oricorio. I forget that Oricorio actually has a ghost type. It's really neat, but also I'm not super into it. I think I'd put it like here. And that'll split up these two, which are just the same Pokemon, I'm not gonna lie. They actually really are the same Pokemon. Like, design-wise, Drifblim, Jellicent, Drifloon, Frillish. They they just kind of look like each other, and then they do the same thing, right? Like, they grab their prey, take them up. They grab their prey, take them down. They're the same Pokemon. You can't fool me. All right, Palossand. Sorry, Sandygast. I keep like calling Sandygast Palisand because he's literally a pile, sand. Like if you were Southern, you say, "Oh yeah, that's a pile of sand." It's him. It's a pile of sand. He's cool. I don't know. I don't necessarily vibe as much with Sandygast. Um, you can go as like an extra buffer here, I think. He's okay. Palisand though is so neat. I'm gonna put him at the top of B tier. I especially love Palisand Shiny. It's like the black sand. I really vibe with the black sand golden shovel vibe. It's so cool. My teammates might not agree with me in the whole black sand being cool sort of thing, but I love black sand. That is a thing that I have seen before, I think, right? yeah, like how cool is this beach? Okay, well, it said, there we go. No, it's like a background. Anyway, whatever. I love, get out of here, I don't care. Like the black sand looks so cool. I want to go to a black sand beach. Do we know how is black sand formed? Right, it's just like, it's molten sand, I guess. That makes sense. And I'm fairly certain that's what the shiny versions of them are supposed to represent, and I am all for it, to be honest. Mimikyu, get up here. Get up here. Mimikyu is so good. I can really vibe with the whole like aspect of Mimikyu. Like his whole thing, like is like, oh, you see this character is really beloved, right? And nobody seems to really care about me, so I'm going to make myself seem more appealing. I want to be that person. I want to be better than I am. And it's so real, to be honest. I really vibe with Mimikyu, and I want to give Mimikyu all the head pats and scritchies and be like, hey, it's okay, buddy. You're not alone. We love you, Mimikyu. Delmise, you are really neat. The whole like ghost anchor is so cool. I vibe with it. It's not as high on my tier list as most of the other Pokemon are, but definitely B tier. I think it's really neat its ability Steelworker to where it's like, oh, it's a multi-type, but also it's technically like a triple type. It gives having an ability in order to get stab type bonuses from steel, but at the same time, it's not like 4 times weak to fire. I think it's grass and ghost type, if I'm not mistaken. So it gets to have the steel typing without having the steel typing, which is both good and bad because I think it can be poisoned. Because steel type can't be poisoned, but I think Dilmines can. So that's really interesting. Blacephalon. Oh, you are such a goofy man. I'm not counting him as a legendary. I wouldn't count the Ultra Beast as legendary. But Blacephalon, I love how goofy he is. His head explodes. He's just a little clown. I really vibe with his energy as well. Sinisty, not much to say about Teacup. It is a thing. And then like Poltegeist, okay. I'm not too big on it actually. I'm gonna put him in D tier. Do I dare put them any lower? I don't know. I get the whole vibe that they give off. It's like, oh yeah, Sinisty, Poltegeist. They're like poltergeist. It makes sense. But like all the different like Pokemon kind of already like that's like the whole thing about like a bunch of the ghost type Pokemon. It's like, oh, we're invisible, we're creating a poltergeist, and then these are just like the items in a poltergeist. It's like, ooh, we're getting shaken around. But like, why do they exist? They're like, oh, a Ditto has turned into this and now it's pretending to be a teacup. I don't really vibe with them at all. And then not to mention their like whole like antique form or whatever. Like hunting for the antique form if you want to get the different forms. It's like, oh, turn the cup upside down and see if it has a little stamp on it. Like it has its niches about it that I like in a way, but I just can't vibe with it. I don't know. Galarian Corsola. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's okay. I kind of feel bad for him. And then Corsola, it might be too much. It's doing too much, I think. Dreepy, however, I am big on the Dreepy line. Dreepy is very cute. I like Dreepy a lot. You're going in the A tier, sir. Dracloak, yeah. And then Dragapult, oh my god. You're so cool. I love Dragapult being a like aircraft carrier. And he shoots out the little Dreepy like missiles. I think it's so funny that it's like, okay, load the child, launch the child, explode the child. I don't know. But it's just so funny. Dreepy loves it. Dreepy, I remember seeing a comic that somebody had created, and it was a girl and her Dreepy, and she like threw it like a paper airplane, and it came back to like be thrown again, like it was a game of fetch. Uh, I love that one so much. I need to take you and put you into not a ghost, actually. Basculegion, however, is a ghost. Now, Basculegion is interesting because it's very akin to Spiritomb, I think, right? Clads itself in the souls of comrades that perished before fulfilling their goals of journeying upstream. So, Basculegion is like Spiritomb, but just fish. Like, it's specifically Basculin that didn't manage to survive. And that's pretty interesting, to be honest. I like Basculegion. I like the concept of Basculegion. Like, the whole, like, bunch of souls put together sort of thing just kind of speaks to me. And the fact that it's just a dopey fish that's like, oh, my poor brother and didn't make it, so now we're gonna become big fish and we're totally gonna make it. It's really goofy. Skeledirge, another aircraft carrier. He's alright. I'll put him in A tier. I like undead creatures a lot. He's like skeleton crocodile. I mean, come on. I don't know. He's maybe he doesn't fit A tier. I'm gonna put him like here, I think, in B tier. Yell at me in the comments. Charcadet, you're good. You're going in B tier. Armor Rouge. Wait a second. Hold on a second. No, Charcadet is just fire type. I thought it was. Okay, hold on. Get down here. Get down from there. You're not a ghost. Not a ghost. You, however, are cool as fuck. We're putting you. Where do we want to put you? Here. I love Edge. He's like just enough edgy, but also like not. I don't know. He's fucking cool. He's really cool. Not too edgy. He's cool. All right, Bramblin. Now this is a hot take. I love Bramblin and I love Bramblecast. I'm a big fan of just goofy Pokemon. And the fact that they're like, oh yeah, it's like a rambling soul that's been just shoved into a tumbleweed because it's like wandering soul, tumbleweeds, they just kind of wander on the winds. I love this. I love it a lot. And I have an idea for one of my stories that takes place in the desert. The Nolan's Hope one with the Conrad and Rexford and Landon. So there's going to be a Bramblegast gang, and it's gonna be like a motorcycle gang, and they're all just gonna like roll up on the city, like how like a motorcycle gang would, and they're all just gonna like roll into town and like take over the town. I think that's such a cool idea to use these guys for. And maybe again that's just bias or whatever, but I love them. They're so goofy. Okay. Another potentially hot take. I don't like Grievered and Houndstone. I'd put Grievered here, and then Houndstone even lower. Like, yeah, I said I like skeletons and whatever, but like, he doesn't speak to me. He doesn't be like, "Oh, you like me." I really don't fuck with Grievered and Houndstone. I don't know. Fluttermane, you're so cool. Okay, this is like how I saw Mischievous as a kid. Right here's Mischievous. I think I want to put her in A tier because this is totally like before Miss Magius came around. Mischievous was there, and then like I'm like, oh, Mischievous, you're cool, or whatever. And then Fluttermane, and it's like, ooh, interesting. I don't put the design up as much with Miss Magius because Miss Magius is cool, but I do think that they are kind of like here and here. All right, Gimme Ghoul. Gimme Ghoul is really interesting because, as I said, I like mimics. This little guy, I don't really understand. Like, he's this guy, right? And he hoards his treasure. Is the treasure chest part of him? Chest form Gimme Gold hides inside a red chest, decorated with black and gold accents and silver buckle with an ornate oval pattern resembling the number 1000 when viewed from the side. Does it? Oh, I see it. 1000. I see. Interesting. Chest form Gimmickle was born inside a chest 1500 years ago. Oh, I see. Okay. When chest form Gimmickle senses an approaching person or Pokemon, it uses ghost energy to control its target and force them to collect coins for its chest. That's really funny. Mm. It tends to hide in less frequented places such as warehouses and shop corners to ambush people and Pokemon while pretending to be an old treasure chest. Its control has notable persistence. One old tale tells of a Gimmighoul who manipulated a young girl to gather 999 coins to fill its chest. It is also known to drain the life out of anyone who attempts to steal its coins. Okay, I haven't really read this before. Like, I played Scarlet and Violet, but I didn't get super into the lore, I guess. That's really interesting. I'm not as big on roaming form Gimmighoul as I am on chest form Gimmighoul, but I guess the chest is part of it. I don't know. It's really interesting. And then Goldango get 999 Gimmighoul coins. I want to know what happened to the girl. I don't know if there's a continuation. Also, it keeps the 1000 thing because it's the 1000th Pokemon. Look at it go. It's such a dude. Goldango is so funny. He's just he's either like the Applejacks or isn't there a shredded cheese mascot? I'm fairly certain there is. This G strings Ficello? I don't know. But this is what Goldango reminds me of. It's literally just this character. This is just Goldango. It's so goofy. It's so goofy. Anyway, that's pretty much that. So yeah, give me cool. Specifically, let's do this. I am going to use you. You are going to be like in C tier. You're okay. I don't mind you, but you don't need to exist when the superior version of you exists. We're putting you in A tier, and then Goldango, you're so fucking goofy, buddy. I love you a lot. I don't know if I want to put you in S tier or not, but know that you were probably honorary S tier, so I'm gonna put you like here with my other two honorary S tiers. And then you two, again, it's just Sinisty Poltegeist, but Sinascha and Poltergeist or whatever, right? I don't I don't vibe with it. I don't think there was any question where I was gonna put those two, was there? So there you go. That's my list. Let me full screen this. So we got Duskull and Sprinkles tier. We've got Banette, Sableye, Chandelure, Golurk, Mimikyu, and Dragapult in S tier. We've got Dusknoir, Aegislash, Goldango, Mismagius, Litwick, Spiritomb, Runerigus, Cofagrigus, Ceruledge, Decidueye, Zoroark, Typhlosion, Haunter, Onedge, Shuppet, Rotom, Pumpkaboo, Blacephalon, Dreepy, and Dracloak. They go either way. Bramblin, Bramblegast, Fluttermane, and Gimmighoul in A tier. We've got Palisand, Trevenant, Frostlass, Zorua, Skeledirge, Mega Banette, Mega Sableye, Gengar, Alola Marowak, Misdreavus, Lampent, Golett, Gourgeist, Dhelmise, Basculegion in B tier. We've got Doublade, Phantom, Yamask, Annihilate, Ghastly, Drifblim, Drifloon, Oricorio, Sandygast, Jellicent, Frillish, Dusclops, Corsola, Greavard, and Gimmighoul roaming form in C tier. Galarian Yamask, Mega Gengar, Shedinja, Cursula, and Houndstone in D tier. And then for my F tier, we've got Sinistea, Poltegeist, Sinatcha, and Poltergeist. And there you go. That's my list, not including legendaries. And then the ones that weren't a ghost, and then, of course, extra forms. So let me know in the comments how you think that I did as far as this list goes. Let me know what changes you'd make. Maybe tell me, let's see, I'm going to pick a random one. Where would you put Dusclops on your tier list? I'm really curious. Let me know where you'd put maybe the whole Duskull line. Where would you put Duskull, Dusclops, and Dusknoir on a tier list? And there you go. I'd like to do more of these tier lists as far as my thoughts on the different ones. I'll probably take out any of the repetitive ones and be like, oh, we've already done these. These have a ghost typing. We'll put that in a separate tier at the bottom like I did with Not a Ghost. And I'll do different typings. Maybe I'll do like dark type next or something. Okie dokie. I hope you all have an excellent day and or night. Bye bye.